Despite the threat, commemorative ceremonies are taking place today around the region. In fact, across the river and across the Hudson River in Jersey City at Liberty State Park, they unveiled a memorial today honoring the over 700 victims from New Jersey who perished here on 9/11. I also want to show behind me is actually the two footprints where the World Twin Towers once stood. And here, any moment now, they're going to be unveiling a massive American flag hanging overhead. It's actually watch the preparations underway as we've actually heard choir singing, which almost right on cue. I don't know if you can hear that, but that is a choir singing on a loudspeaker, and they've been testing the intercom system all day long. I'm going to just stop talking so you can hear it, because actually right now you can watch as the American flag is slowly being draped by men standing up above us. Let's just look and listen.
Julie, talk to us about what you're seeing and hearing there. Julie, it's a wonderful moment watching the flag unfurl. What are you hearing and seeing there?
As we're listening to the choir here, Greg, it's so symbolic to know that the name of this tower that you're looking at will eventually stand 1,776 feet tall. It'll be named the Freedom Tower. It stands for so much. It stands not only for the liberty and freedom of New Yorkers and the over 3,000 lives that were lost here, the some 746 lives lost from New Jersey, the over 300 firefighters who ran into those buildings on that horrible day. But seeing this American flag, watching the ceremonies in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, after 10 years since America suffered the worst terror attack in U.S. history, it is really symbolic to know that this is just the beginning. Tomorrow will mark a really meaningful day for family, for loved ones. Everyone in New York knows someone who was lost on that day, whether it's a loved one, whether it was a friend, or whether it was an acquaintance, a coworker. And so when we watch this flag being unfurled the day before, you can only imagine. It just gives you a sense of the emotion that will go into tomorrow as the ceremony begins. In fact, here, Greg, the ceremony is expected to start at 8:30 in the morning, and it just says so much about New York as well. You know, we heard about this terror threat. It's not surprising that on 9/11/11 that Al-Qaeda would try to strike us again on such an important day. But New Yorkers, the Department of Homeland Security, the NYPD, all officials in Washington and New York are not going to bow down to terrorists. They again say that this is the safest the United States has ever been. Tomorrow will be about America. It'll be about remembering and the terrorists will not interrupt it. It'll begin at 8:30 tomorrow morning. They say the events will go on as planned, and they will not be thwarted by some kind of credible or even non-credible terror threat.
And Greg and Julie, what struck me is as this American flag was draped down, the images from 10 years ago of the American flag being resurrected there at the site by the firefighters, and how again today we see the American flag, and it means so much to people, not just here in New York, but across the country. If you've looked online, where American flags are popping up everywhere.
It really does. What a beautiful moment. And we'll pause. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.